Some games thrive on original gameplay and replayability without any need for modding to spice things up. Some games have a light modding or user content creation focus. Some games have a heavy focus on modding accessibility and promotion. And some take it to the next level by giving their players tools and resources to use for the creation of new content. I and many other people think that Hytale is the last type. Hytale is providing tools that will greatly increase modding accessibility and ease, including a model creator, animator, and weather controller, to name a few. With Hypixel Studio's claim being every aspect of Hytale is customizable, from damage values to animations, models, weather, combat mechanics, and more. Our ambition is to empower our community to make entire new worlds for themselves. The goal of this video is to explain what exactly having such a heavy focus on customization could mean for Hytale's experience, content creation, and culture. What are the consequences of such a heavy focus? What are the positives? What are the negatives? And what will the overall impact be? Hopefully these questions will at least be partially answered by the end of this video. So, let's get started. Before I start making any claims as to what exactly the benefits and drawbacks of having such a heavy focus on modding for Hytale will be, I should first briefly explain what I think that focus will produce, because that will impact the rest of the assumptions I'll be making. Right now, I think that due to the ease of access and relatively low skill level that Hytale's modding tools will allow, there's a potential for a much, much larger modding community than its inspiration, Minecraft, had or has. Another result of the ease of use that these tools will present is that not only will the mods that players make be quicker to make, they will also be bigger. I don't mean that every mod will be bigger than some of the biggest Minecraft mods, but that it'll be easier to make mods in Hytale that are bigger than even the largest Minecraft mods, with the proper direction. On top of that, the nature of user-created content will most likely be more diverse than Minecraft's. You can just take a look at the announcement trailer to get an idea of what I mean. There's literally a top-down shooter that looks nothing like the adventure mode we've been shown in other parts of the same trailer. And since these mods will be more diverse, they'll also be less predictable. We have no idea what we'll be seeing out of Hytale's more creative mods. Now that I've hopefully given a basic idea of my expectations for modding possibilities, I want to turn to the benefits that such possibilities will make possible. Possibly. Focusing on content creation, a slew of mods is a YouTuber or Twitch streamer's dream come true. Lots of mods that usually require relatively low effort to quickly play, get some fun videos out of, and then move on to the next mod are really useful to them. This stream of mods would also probably keep up for a long time if the game is really popular, which I'm almost 100% sure it will be. Take Roblox as an example. People are still making content for that, and it's been really popular for several years now. That does not mean that I'm praising Roblox though. We'll get back to that in a second. Another perk for content creators is that not only will there be a ton of mods to cover in all likelihood, but many of these mods will be starkly unique, which will hopefully make watching Hytale mod content fresh and entertaining most of the time. Beyond content creators, individual players will also benefit from the massive amount of mods that will probably be created. And just as creators will benefit from the fresh new experiences they'll be able to cover, individual players will also be able to experience those mods for themselves. Now that I've covered the positives that Hytale's modding tools and community could provide, I'll cover some of the reservations I have and actually some potential threats I see with modding in Hytale. First off, oversaturation is something that can always threaten a community's survival. And with the tools that Hytale provides, it's very possible that the mod market, so to speak, will become overcrowded. Oversaturation isn't always a death sentence though. To take an example, sites like YouTube and Twitch offer more content than anyone can ever watch. And a lot of that content is frankly embarrassing. But YouTube and Twitch are able to filter through a lot of their garbage with recommendations and prominent spots for rising videos. That doesn't mean that all of the good stuff always gets promoted up and all of the bad stuff is shoved away from everyone. But it does mean that anyone who's using the site is usually not going to be bombarded by bad content, or content that they deem bad. Another factor with YouTube and Twitch is that even though they could be considered oversaturated, there's so much diverse content that even though certain trends and videos come and go, the platform and viewer base itself is durable. So since Hytale will probably naturally generate diverse mod content due to its tools, it's important that they set up a good recommendation and promotion system if they want to have in-game accessibility for mods, meaning you can download them from the game itself instead of having to go to third parties like you do with Minecraft. Otherwise, it'll be harder for mods to be brought to the light properly. The other large threat I see in the modding community by itself is the contribution to the great scourge of game communities: cringy kidification. Ever think that it was a good idea to watch a Roblox dating video? Ever think that it brought anything valuable or meaningful to the community? If you did, and you're not like 7, you scare me. Let me explain exactly why it's such a bad thing to cringify a community. It can 1. Create false perceptions of games to potential new players when they see cringy videos on them. 2. Create false perceptions of games to their own players who are young enough to consume said cringy content and will eventually grow out of it. But their experience with the game won't make them want to ever come back. Why go back to a cringy old game? 3. It can even ruin the experience of normally dedicated players who watch their beloved communities crumble into the dust as manufactured enthusiasm and other pointless things are thrust into the game's communities, thus sealing its horrible fate. Wow, that escalated. One way this can be combated is if the base game itself presents itself in a more mature way. Maybe not going as far as having super dark and gritty elements, but using the storyline and gameplay to reinforce that such cringy behavior and content is simply out of line with the spirit of the game. This wouldn't necessarily be easy, because Minecraft has had this problem and the soul of the game is very far from cringy, but I think it can be done. I'm just not exactly sure how. So to wrap things up, I think modding will be a huge aspect of Hytale's focus, and that because of this focus on Hytale's modding capabilities, modding will become an incredibly huge and fascinating focus of the Hytale community. Content creators and players alike will be benefited by this focus, but this focus comes with the responsibility to take measures that curb oversaturation and flesh out the soul of the game. I think modding will be a very interesting part of Hytale to watch, whether or not most of my concerns and speculations end up being well-founded. Well, that's it for me for now. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to support the channel and hit the like button with as much force as you feel is necessary. If you want to see more of my videos when they come out, feel free to subscribe. Alright, Funky out.